Hi, guys. Welcome back to Sussy Stuff. My name is Blythe,
I'm Emma.
and we are here to talk about the college football playoff, Tennessee and Ohio State. I'm so excited for this game. This will be Tennessee's first playoff appearance in Ohio State's fifth. So let's break down this game. Emma, what are you looking at going into this game?
Well, overall, their strength of schedule is pretty similar. UT has a 28 strength of schedule, where Ohio has a 29. Their defense is also pretty similar as well. With total defense, UT has 4, whereas Ohio State is ranked first. And then total offense, this is where Tennessee has a little bit of an advantage. They're ranked 8th right now, and Ohio State is ranked 36. I think Ohio State's biggest advantage in this game is going to be the weather. I hear it's going to be 17 degrees that night. And for Tennessee, that's a little scary. So I think that is going to be the biggest struggle for Tennessee that night, because I think this will be a big, big defensive battle. Both defenses have been tested this season. Both of these defenses have been strong this season. And so it's really which offense shows up on the day for both of these teams.
Yeah, I think the Vols have to be aggressive very early. I would look for Tennessee to take more chances than usual, probably. But also this weather, yes, Nico being from Southern California, they're calling for snow. It might be too early to look at that, maybe not. But I know me in the cold, and I'm from South Carolina, and it's not that cold when it gets here. But to us, it's freezing. So I can see this really playing a major factor in this game. But I think if you compare the two, Tennessee is essentially a little bit more polished version than maybe this Michigan team that Ohio State has previously faced. The Volunteers have a better offensive line, running back, quarterback, defensive line, but they still play that brand of just physical football. And if Ohio State can stop the run, I feel like the rest of it really probably won't matter. But I do think that they have to be, very aggressive early. And, when Ohio State has the ball, they have to have Trayvon Henderson and Quishon Judkins to be their guys.
Both of these teams have the same record. They both didn't go to their conference championships. So I kind of want to look at these losses a little bit. So Tennessee lost to Arkansas. Arkansas obviously had a late touchdown in the game by their backup quarterback, Malachi Singleton, which kind of ended their chances to win that, because I think there was like a minute left on the clock. But Tennessee overall, they played poorly from start to finish. They had little offense. They only had those 2 offensive drives, and that was it. Their defense also struggled in this game. They could not stop Arkansas in the final seconds, despite their 14-3 lead in the third quarter. So it was there were a lot of mistakes across the board. And then with Georgia, when they lost to Georgia, and let's give them credit, Carson Beck played really well in that game, and it was a home game for Georgia. So we'll just call that as it is. But Tennessee's offense struggled once again. The offense was completely inconsistent. They failed to score in the second half. So Georgia's defense really shut them down. And the Vols defense, their defensive line wasn't as disruptive as it has been. They couldn't pressure Beck whatsoever. So in both of those losses, their defense did not play well, and the offense couldn't put points on the board. And like you were saying, if they shut down the Vols run game, led by Dylan Sampson, of course, he is their star player. They want to use him as much as possible. If they shut him down, I think it's going to be a long night for Tennessee. And now with Ohio State, with their loss to Michigan, the Buckeyes just couldn't do anything on offense either. So not only did they fail to get a first down on their final drive, they failed to get a first down in the entire fourth quarter. They also had numerous mistakes. It was a defensive battle, and I think that that's what this game is going to be as well. And then if you look at Ohio State's loss to Oregon, they made so many mistakes. Yeah. False starts that killed the first half drive, failed to execute basic punt before the play clock ran out, a face mask on a touchdown that set up Oregon to win back-to-back possessions, a turnover midway through the first quarter. So it was just mistake after mistake after mistake. The defense also allowed 496 yards, which is the most they've given up since 2022. So for being the best defense overall, that was a very poor performance. So both of their losses, for both of these teams came the same way. The offense couldn't get anything done. The defense failed to stop the other team, and there were lots of mistakes, which you look at that and you're like, that's very basic. But
Yeah.
that's what could happen here for both of these teams. I think the defenses are evenly matched as they are ranked as well. The offense, it's like, who's going to show up? You need Nico Iamaleava to really be strong on the day. You cannot rely solely on Dylan Sampson. And like you were saying earlier, they have to come out. They have to be aggressive in this matchup here to really get something going and win in a strong way. They cannot start out slow, as we've seen them do numerous times this season. They have to be more aggressive. And they don't have to play perfectly because Ohio State doesn't play perfectly half the time. Will Howard can be very inconsistent for this team. So that is where I'm looking in this game, is which offense is going to show up for each of these teams. If both of the offenses are strong, I think this is going to be an incredibly good game. If one offense is off and the other offense is on, then this is going to be a very lopsided game. So it's really who shows up on the day. The defenses on both sides, I think, are going to be strong.
And if you're the Buckeyes, you have to feel comfortable with both of your stellar running backs, Quashawn Judkins and Travion Henderson. They each have 750 plus yards and 14 touchdowns combined. And they run behind a terrific offensive line, although they are dealing with some injuries. They also have one of the best wide receiver duos in the country, both combined for 1,600 yards this season through the air and have 19 touchdowns between them. So this Vols secondary will definitely be pushed to their limits. But if you're Ohio State, you feel good about that. Also, like you talked about, their defense as well. So I think this is going to be a very, very interesting game. This is probably the second most exciting one other than the Clemson, Texas. I'm looking forward to.
I'm most excited for this game. You're our Clemson girl. You have to be excited for this.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited about that game. But this one is a very close second on my list. This is going to be a great game. Ohio State, in the beginning of the season, every season is always in the talks for finishing top 4, top 5 each season. And sometimes it doesn't go that way. Sometimes it does for them. But they're always in the conversation. So this is a team that has been there. They know what to expect. Despite whatever you think about Coach Ryan Day, he has played and been in these moments. So that is going to weigh in. I honestly have gone back and forth with who I'm going to choose for this game. One, I truly, really don't know. I know who I would want to win. I know who I maybe feel like could. I don't know.
It's so hard. I think this is going to be a very a defensive slugfest in a way. Both of these teams are built to stop the run. And with Dylan Sampson, that's my worry for Tennessee, is Dylan Sampson is their key to making plays happen. And if Ohio State can stop him, then I don't think Tennessee can win. But he might be able to get through this defensive line. So, Ohio State is going to have to lean on its passing game and trust its elite receivers. They did not do that in the Michigan game. I think they've learned their lesson, so I think they will do that. And then also, Tennessee has a very fast-paced offense, which I remember, middle of the season when Nick Saban broke it down on his big board. And I was like, wow, they really are fast with how they get off and how they don't sub. And will that challenge Ohio State's very sturdy defense? So I have a lot of questions in this game. I really think it can go either way. These defenses are going to be the stars of the show at the end of the night, and it's going to be which offense can break through. I'm expecting a very boring first half, kind of like the Texas-Georgia game. I thought those defenses were pretty evenly matched as well. And then I think one team at the end is going to start pulling through. Now, I know about 60-70% of bets are favoring Tennessee to cover the spread or even pull off the upset. I am going to go with those bets. I think Tennessee can actually win in this moment. I don't trust Ryan Day. I really don't. So I'm going to pick Tennessee to win this game, though I do think Ohio State has an incredibly talented team that can 100% pull off a big win in this moment. It's just which team shows up.
I am also going to pick Tennessee. I love Dylan Sampson. I think they're going to get it done. I love this. I don't trust Ryan Day any day, really. Um, so I'm going with Tennessee.
Yeah, I want to say Nico Iamaleava's name a few more times this season. I don't know if they'll win it all, but I think they have a good shot at this game for sure. And then they have to go play Oregon, which would be scary. I think for either one of those teams, is that's your next game after this is already, I already think is going to be an incredibly difficult game. Having Oregon next up on the slate is not something I would have chosen for myself, but here we are. This is what the college football gods have done. But thank you guys so much. Who do you think is going to win this game? I know we both picked Tennessee. It's not just because it's an SEC show. We believe in this team. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We love doing this show. We love interacting with you all in the comments. So let us know who you think is going to win, and we will see you next time.